So let's start. First question. We can distinguish between average speed and the magnitude of average velocity. We know average speed is total distance covered upon total time taken, and average velocity is change in position upon time taken. No such distinction is necessary when we consider instantaneous speed and the magnitude of velocity. The instantaneous speed is always equal to the magnitude of instantaneous velocity by. Average speed is always equal to average speed is may or may not be equal to average velocity. Average speed and average velocities are equal only when distance and displacement are equal. When the object moves in a straight line, only then average speed and average velocity are equal. But for instantaneous speed, no such distinction is required. Instantaneous speed is always equal to instantaneous velocity. Why? Yes. Because we find velocity for a very small displacement for a very small interval of time. So distance or displacement remains the same, and therefore they are also equal. So instantaneous velocity and instantaneous speed are equal for a small interval of time because the magnitude of the displacement is effectively equal to the distance traveled by the particle. Okay. Read each statement below carefully and state with reasons and examples if it is true or false. A particle in one-dimensional motion with zero speed at any instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant. True or false? Please justify. Zero speed at an instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant. तो non-zero acceleration कैसे होगा? True or false? True. True. No comments. True. Okay. With zero speed may have non-zero velocity. If the speed is zero, then velocity non-zero ho feasibly nahi hai, right? So it's false. With constant speed must have zero acceleration. Speed is constant and acceleration is zero. True, when a body moves on a straight path without changing its direction with a constant speed, acceleration is zero. And a body traveling in a straight path is a one-dimensional motion. With positive value of acceleration must be speeding up. True. Speeding up and positive value of acceleration. False. It is true only when the chosen positive direction is along with the direction of motion. We cannot, neglect this fact. This is your NCERT question. Okay, please. See, when there are certain situations where we have at highest point velocity is zero and acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. Written question. Figure shows the xt plot of the one-dimensional motion of a particle. Is it correct to say from the graph that shows that the particle moves in a straight line for t less than 0 and on a parabolic path for t greater than 0, if not, suggest a suitable physical context for this graph? For t less than 0, we cannot see anything in the graph. Okay, because if t is less than 0, there is nothing in the graph. So we cannot see that the object is moving in a straight line or what. No. And for t greater than 0, it is a parabolic path. ये है या नहीं है? Yes or no? You can't say. And बताओ? Yes, no, or can't say. See, displacement time graph gives speed, and this graph is non-uniform motion. Here, velocity is increasing with time. No? Velocity is increasing or decreasing with time? Velocity is increasing with time. So, give me the answer. It is not correct to say that the particle moves in a straight line for t less than 0. That is negative because we have nothing, here which shows this. and on a parabolic path for t greater than 0 positive, because the xt graph doesn't represent the path of the particle. Xt graph doesn't tell us about the path of the particle. It tells us about the velocity with which the object is moving. And this graph shows that speed is increasing with time. Okay, this is non-linear graph, right? So it shows speed is increasing with time. So when does speed increase? Under what conditions? If an object is projected in vertical upward direction, then speed decreases, reaches a maximum height, and then if an object is thrown from that height, from certain height, then speed increases. और वो कौन सा पाथ फॉलो करता है, लीनियर होता है या नॉन लीनियर होता है? Are you sure? अगर किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को आप किसी हाइट से थ्रो करते हो तो एक्सेलरेशन इज एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी, राइट? यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेलरेशन है. एक्सेलरेटेड मोशन के लिए एक्सटी ग्राफ कैसा होगा? Speed is increasing with time. It is an accelerated motion. Na? Speed is increasing with time. So if you're plotting BT graph, then you'll get a straight line because it is uniform acceleration and speed is increasing with time. But for XT graph, it is not straight line. It is curved. A suitable physical context for this graph can be a particle is dropped from the top of a tower at t equals to 0. Next question. The figure gives the xt plot of a particle in one-dimensional motion. Three different equal intervals of time are shown. In which interval is the average speed greatest and in which is it the least? Give the sign of average velocity. It is the least and give the sign of average velocity for each interval. So in which interval is the average speed greatest? Third. Third. And in which interval average speed is the least? First. Give the sign of average velocity for each interval. Average velocity. Sign of average velocity for each interval. For first, it is positive. For second, it is positive. Yes. And for third, it is negative. So we can see slope of this graph, slope of this graph, and slope of this graph. It is more tilted. So interval 3 is the greatest and 2 is the least. The average velocity is positive for intervals 1 and 2 and it is negative for interval 3. Next question. Big question. The following figure gives the speed time graph of a particle in motion along a constant direction. Three equal intervals of time are shown. In which interval is the average acceleration greatest in magnitude? In which interval is the average speed greatest? Choosing the positive direction as constant direction of motion, give the signs of V and A in three intervals. What are the accelerations at points A, B, C, and D? So in which interval is the average acceleration greatest in magnitude? One, two, or three? See, how do we find average acceleration? Acceleration, how do we find? By taking slope. By taking slope of velocity time graph, we can find acceleration. So change in the speed with time is maximum in the interval 2, you can see. And therefore, average acceleration is greatest in magnitude in interval 2. Second question is, in which interval is the average speed greatest? Average speed. Sorry? It's not about negative positive, it's about change. Greater value. of acceleration. Okay. Yes. Next question. In which interval is the average speed greatest? Average speed greatest कहाँ पे? Interval 3. Interval 3, average speed is the greatest. Okay, next question. Choosing the positive direction as the constant direction of motion gives the sign of B and A in three intervals. What are the accelerations at points A, B, C, and D? Acceleration at point AC, it's nearly parallel to time axis, no? Point A is nearly parallel to time axis. And what about B, C, and D? Hmm? Yes. क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया? देखो इसमें ये बोल रहा है आपको कि एक्सेलरेशंस क्या होंगे बी ए बी सी डी पे if we are choosing positive direction as the constant direction of motion. Object is moving in the positive direction. Then you have to find the accelerations at points A, B, C, and D. Acceleration depends on the slope, right? So sign of velocity is positive in the intervals 1, 2, and 3. Velocity is positive everywhere in the intervals 1, 2, and 3 because we're taking speed, right? And acceleration is positive in the first interval. It is rising now. The first interval is rising. You can see, look at the cursor. It is rising. So acceleration is positive. In the interval 3, interval 3 also it is positive because slope is positive and it is negative in the interval 2. As slope is negative in the interval 2, it is negative there. So acceleration at A, B, and C, A, B, C, and D is 0. Because slope is parallel to time axis everywhere you can see. At A, this line is parallel to time axis. Even at B, this point is, you can see this, this peak is parallel to time axis and this is also parallel to time axis. This peak is also nearly parallel to time axis. So these are nearly equal to 0. Okay. These are equal to 0. Write the answer. The following figure gives the xt plot of a particle executing one-dimensional simple harmonic motion. Give the signs of position, velocity, and acceleration variables of the particle at t is equal to 0.3 second, 1.2 second, and minus 1.2 second. T is equal to 0.3 second. 0.3 second lies where? It lies somewhere here. No? Look at the cursor. Lies somewhere here. 1.2 second lies here. And minus 1.2 second lies here. So we have to give the signs of position, velocity, and acceleration variables of the particle in these time intervals. And this is an xt graph. So from an xt graph, we can find the position, velocity, and acceleration. Okay, so it is an xt graph, and we can see it 0.3 seconds. Acceleration, this position is in. And how do we write acceleration for simple harmonic motion? It's minus omega square x. You'll be studying this later in this session. When we'll do simple harmonic motion, you'll get to know. Don't worry. So we write, if position is given, if x is given, then we write acceleration as minus omega square x. This is one of the relations that we'll be doing in the chapter simple harmonic motion. हम करेंगे ये around December, November, December में. ठीक है? So acceleration is minus omega square x, where omega is the angular frequency. So first case, at t is equal to 0.3 second, we have x less than 0. You can see at t is equal to 0.3 second, where we are somewhere here now. Look at the cursor. So x is negative, and because x is negative, it shows that velocity is also negative. Position is negative, so is the velocity, but because acceleration is minus omega square x. So if x is negative, then a will be positive at that point. Because where x is negative, we have a positive there. Because in the relation, we have a negative sign. Okay. Now for 1.2 second, please answer. 1.2 second, where does it lie? You can also see. It's easy. 1.2 second, look at the cursor. It is here. Yes, at t is equal to 1.2 second, position and velocity will be positive, but acceleration will be negative because if position is positive, if x is positive, then a is minus omega square, a will be negative. Okay, next, minus 1.2 second. So velocity will be positive and acceleration is again the same reason because position is negative and therefore acceleration will be positive. Suggest a suitable situation for each of the following graphs. Look at these graphs and tell me the situations for these graphs. हाँ जी, बताओ जी. See, we can just look at this. Initially, we xt graph को बहुत ध्यान से देखना है. Displacement is increasing with time. Okay, and then displacement is decreasing with time, and then it is just going parallel to time axis. Means object has come to rest, we can say. Initially, when displacement increases with time, we have velocity is increasing, speed is increasing. It reaches at this somewhere, here on x-axis. Initially, velocity is increasing uniformly. Then velocity is decreasing uniformly. And then it comes to rest. ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है? बताओ कोई सिचुएशन जिसमें ये फिजिकल सिचुएशन जहां पे ये फिट बैठता है. The graph is similar to kicking a ball and then it hits the ball and rebounds with a reduced speed. The ball then moves in opposite direction and hits the opposite wall, which stops the ball. Can you elaborate? Can you explain? Kicking a ball, then it hits the ball. You have kicked the ball, it hits the ball. ठीक है? तो फिर जब बॉल इनिशियली 0 स्पीड था, बट आपने किक किया, वो बॉल को हिट करता है, फिर रिबाउंड करता है रिड्यूस्ड स्पीड के साथ. Why reduced speed? Look at the angle, look at the inclination, look at the cursor movement, this angle and this angle. Which angle is greater? Negative side wala is greater, na? So their speed is more, and here speed is less. Speed is less, speed is more. ऐसे होगा तो speed ज्यादा है, ऐसे होगा तो speed कम है, right? तो जो इधर वाला है, cursor को देखो, इधर वाले में speed ज्यादा है, negative side वाले में, because it is angle is greater. और इधर वाले में we have less speed, smaller angle. कुछ energy हमारी डेसिपेट भी तो हो जाती है ना, वो मान लेते हैं कि हमारी एनर्जी डेसिपेट हो गई कुछ जब हमने बॉल को किक किया बॉल के साथ और वो रीबाउंड हुई विद रिड्यूस स्पीड एंड देन इट मूव्स इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन एंड हिट्स द अपोजिट बॉल व्हिच स्टॉप्स द opposite. Why opposite direction? Because it is going in the negative direction. You can see it is going in the negative direction and then it is parallel to the time axis, which shows that it stops the ball. मुझे तो लग रहा है क्यों कर रहे हैं ये, क्या क्वेश्चन है ये? अगर आप एक्सेलरेशन वाला केस लेते हो कि आपने किसी बॉल को अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन में थ्रो किया, तो उसमें बीटी ग्राफ में ये फॉलो कर सकते हो कि बीटी ग्राफ में आपने नीचे से ऊपर गया, यूनिफॉर्मली इंक्रीज हुआ वेलोसिटी और फिर यूनिफॉर्मली डिक्रीज हुआ, मतलब सॉरी, इनिशियली यूनिफॉर्मली डिक्रीज हुआ फिर यूनिफॉर्मली इंक्रीज हुआ, वो बीटी ग्राफ में एप्लीकेबल, ये एक्सटी ग्राफ है। अच्छा, नेक्स्ट ग्राफ वी हैव अ बीटी ग्राफ नाउ, बॉल बाउंसिंग ऑन द ग्राउंड, ओके, वही, ये वही मत नहीं बोलना होता। अच्छा, आपने बॉल को बास्केटबॉल में, आपकी कौन सी बॉल थी? क्रिकेट बॉल थी, आपकी बास्केटबॉल है, आपकी कौन सी बॉल है? क्रेजी बॉल। कंटिन्यूअस चेंज हो रहा है वेलोसिटी में, at some instant it loses some velocity, therefore it may represent a situation where a ball falls on the ground from a certain height and rebounds with a reduced, ground पे गिरी और फिर बाउंस हुई, reduce speeds, तभी यू आर गेटिंग दिस, अल्टीमेटली धीरे धीरे करके वो जीरो होता जा रहा है। Another graph, शटल, वो तो पाथ को बता रहे हो आप, फ्रॉग का क्या करूँ? जंप कर रहा है फ्रॉग, ओके। और कुछ आ रहा है माइंड में, थॉट्स, आइडियाज, कनेक्ट कर रहे हो और कोई फिजिकल सिचुएशन? Dog, frog. Oh my God. A cricket ball moving with uniform speed is hit by a bat for a very short time interval. Time graph of a particle moving along a fixed direction is shown in figure. Obtain the distance traversed by the particle between t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds. Let's consider the first time interval. T is equal to 0 second to t is equal to 10 second. See, we have a speed time graph and we have to find the distance traversed. It's very easy. We can find speed, we can find distance by finding area under speed time graph. Yes? So let's find area. So distance traversed. Distance traversed is equal to area under speed time curve. अब आपको जो डिस्टेंस फाइंड करना है वो 0 to 10 seconds में, let's label this first. Let this be O, this is your A, this is your B, and this is D. Join this. Area is half into base into height. So base is OB and height is AD. Yes. Now put the values. Half into OB. OB is 10. It is in seconds, no? Time is in seconds. And AD is 12. It's meter per second. So we'll get 60 meter. ये easy था. ये हो गया. Let's move to the next question now. B part. T is equal to 2 seconds to T is equal to 6 seconds. So here we have a different situation. See, for T is equal to 2 seconds to 6 seconds, इसमें क्या है कि let's label this as 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And this is 6. Okay, so T is equal to 2 seconds to T is equal to 6 seconds. We have to find the distance for this time interval. But we do not know the speed, we don't know, we know nothing. So let's divide this into two parts. Let's consider first from t equals to 2 to t equals to 5 seconds. So t equals to 2 second to t equals to 5 second. Let's consider this interval. Okay. So for this interval, we'll find the distance, and then for 5 to 6 seconds, again, we'll find the distance, we'll add those distances. So for this, how will we find the distance between this time interval? But we don't know the values, no? We cannot draw perpendiculars and find the area. So for this, we will find the distance covered by the object in 5 seconds minus distance covered by the object in 2 seconds gives the distance that we need. Okay, so distance covered by the object in 2 to 5 seconds. This is what we have to find out. ये फाइंड करना ना हमने. इसके लिए पहले हम 2 seconds में कितना distance cover किया और 5 seconds में कितना distance. Okay, so what is the initial velocity of the object? It's u, it is 0. Enough. And time is 5 seconds. Final velocity of the object is 12 meter per second. So we can find acceleration. So find acceleration. Acceleration is, how do we find acceleration? We have 3 different equations. So use first equation of motion. It's v minus u by t, rate of change of velocity upon time. So 12 minus 0 upon 5. It is 12 by 5 meter per second square. So this is 2.5 meter per second square. This is your acceleration. Okay. Now we will find the distance covered by the object in 5 seconds. It's half at square. See, 2 second initial velocity will take 0 for 5 seconds and for 2 seconds both, because हम अगर यहाँ पे u को हम ले रहे हैं 5 seconds में कितना distance cover किया, उसके लिए भी initial velocity 0 लेंगे. अगर हम कह रहे हैं कि 2 seconds में कितना distance cover किया, उसके लिए भी हम starting से ले रहे हैं ना. हम यहाँ से ये distance ले रहे हैं for 2 seconds and then for 5 seconds. And both the cases we have initially t0 and u0. Okay. So S5 is, because S is ut plus half at square and initially velocity is 0. Object is at rest initially. So S is equal to half at square. We will use this formula. Okay. So S225. This is what we have to find out. Anna, directly write this. S5 minus S2. Okay. So this is half A5 square minus half A2 square. Okay. So this can be written as half, and A is 12 by 5 we can write, or you can write in decimal, it's your choice. And in the bracket we have 25 minus 4. 25 minus 4 is 21. So half into 12 by 5 into 21. 2 ones are 2, 2 6 are 12. Now solve this. You will get 25.2 meter. Okay. 25.2 meter. Now we will find the distance covered in which second? 5th to 6th second. Okay. So for t is equal to 5 second to t is equal to 6 second. What is the initial velocity? See, this time we'll take initial velocity as 12 meter per second, because object is here at A. Okay. So initial velocity is 12 meter per second. Final velocity is, after 10 seconds, velocity becomes 0. So we'll take 0 meter per second. And time is, you can take time as 1 second if you want to, because we have to find distance for 1 second only. So we can take time as 1 second. But for 5, we'll take 5 for acceleration, because if we have to find acceleration, then you will take 5. For distance, you can take 1. Okay. So t is equal to 5 seconds. So from here, you will get the acceleration value. It's v minus u by t. The same value you'll get, but with a negative sign. No, it's minus 12 upon 5. So answer is minus 2.5 meter per second square. This is the acceleration. Yes, it's 2.4. 2.4 meter per second square. Here also. Now we have to find the distance for 1 second only. Na? So we can write S is equal to S 5 to 6 we can write. Okay. So UT plus half AT square. Now find the distance for 1 second. U is 12 and T is 1 plus half. Acceleration is minus 12 by 5 and T square 1 square. Okay. Now solve this and get the value of displacement. It's 10.8 meter. Or you can use that formula also. Distance traveled in, for 5 to 6 seconds is distance covered in first second. Na? So we can use U plus A by 2n minus 1. Using this formula, you'll get the same answer. It's 1 by 2 into minus 12 by 5. In the bracket, we have 1 second, so it's 2 minus 1. Again, you'll get the same answer. And what is the total distance covered? Have you found out? Bags पहले pack हो जाते हैं ना? Total distance covered is this distance, है ना? And plus this distance. 25.2 meter plus 10.8 meter. 6. Okay. So initial velocity of the ball can be taken as 0 and it strikes the ground with some velocity and उसके बाद क्या होगा rebound. Question क्या है? A ball is dropped from the height of 90 meter. At each collision with the floor, the ball loses 1/10 of its speed. Plot the speed time graph of its motion between t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 12 seconds. Okay, so let's find the time first. So initially, velocity of the ball is 0, height of the ball is 90 meter, and acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and it is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Yes, so we can find the final velocity with which it strikes the ground. So velocity of the ball with which it strikes the ground is v. Okay, and we can relate these using these quantities using third equation. Third equation of motion. It's v square minus u square is equal to 2gh. Okay, now put the values here. So v square is minus 0 square is equal to 2 into 9.8 into 90. Okay, so from here we get the value of v square as, बताओ? Give me the answer. Find v. What value you are getting? Multiply करो. 98 is 196. Anji? V is 42. It's 42.04 meter per second.
98 by 10 कर दे फिर 0 काट दे तो फिर नहीं आएगा.
See, it is 196, na? So we can write this as 19.6 into 90. Or this is 196 into 9 we can write. Okay, so V is equal to square root of this 196 into 90. This is how you done. So it's 14 into 3. Answer is 42 meter per second. Okay. And time? Yes, time taken by the ball to reach the ground. Time taken by the ball to reach the ground. How will you find? T is equal to V minus U by A. Yes. And A is G. So V is 42 minus 0 divided by 9.8. Yeah, बताओ. 4.29 seconds. 4.29 seconds है. राउंड ऑफ भी कर सकते हैं. मैंने सॉल्यूशंस है ना, तो मैं जल्दी बता रही हूँ इसकी. टाइम सेविंग माय टाइम. हाँ हाँ, जी को 10 ले सकते हैं, बट अगर जी को 10 तब लेते हैं जब हमें बोला हो कि टेक जी इज इक्वल 10 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. If it is not written anywhere, then you have to take g as 9.8 only. You cannot take g as 10. Okay, so this is the velocity with which it strikes the ground after time this 4.29 seconds. है ना? After 4.29 seconds, ball will strike the ground with this velocity, 42 meter per second. Now, in this question, it is written that each collision with the floor, the ball loses 1/10 of its speed. So 1/10 of the speed is lost. Now, ball will rebound with velocity equal to v dash, let's say. And this v dash is equal to, बताओ, 1/10 is lost, na? Remaining 9/10 v. 1/10 अगर लूज कर देगा तो कितनी वेलोसिटी से रिबाउंड करेगा? 9/10 v से. Okay, so velocity with which, so this will act as the initial velocity of the ball this time. Okay, अब करो आगे. Now the ball is moving against gravity. The ball loses 1/10 of its velocity. At each collision. The new velocity is u dash is equal to 9/10 into 42 meter per second. What value you're getting? 37.8 meter per second. You're writing? Okay. 37.8 meter per second. The ball rebounds and reaches a new maximum height. Ball rebounds and reaches a new maximum height. In time, we can say t dash. In time t dash. Now, at highest point, we take velocity as 0, right? So let's take v dash as 0 and u dash is 37.8 meter per second. T dash is the time to reach at the new maximum height. And acceleration will take minus g this time. It's minus 9.8 meter per second square. Again, we have to find time. कैसे find करो? T dash find करो. It is v dash minus u dash divided by A or G, we can say. Yes. So it's 0 minus 37.8 divided by minus 9.8. What will you get? 3.86 seconds. Okay. See, we have to plot the speed time graph of its motion between 0 to 12 seconds. In 4.29 seconds, this ball strikes the ground for the first time and then it rebounds and it takes 3.86 seconds to reach the new maximum height somewhere here. Okay, and then again, kitna time ho gaya? Total time is t plus t dash, we can write. It's 4.29 plus 3.86 second. 8.15 सेकेंड. अब नेक्स्ट 4 सेकेंड्स में देखते हैं क्या होता है. ठीक है. Okay, again this ball has reached here. Now again we will consider the downward motion towards the ground. Okay, to derive this, consider the downward motion now. Now because the ball is here now at this point, so we'll take initial velocity of the ball as, let's take u double dash is 0. No, हाँ यहाँ पे 0. ठीक है. Initial velocity is this. Acceleration is, acceleration due to gravity, it's 9.8 meter per second square. और कुछ पता है हमें? वेलोसिटी फाइंड करना है ना? और see, time of ascent is equal to time of descent. ठीक है, and it takes 3.86 seconds to reach at this height ना, so it will take the same time to strike the ground. Time taken by the ball to strike the ground is same. Time of ascent is equal to time of descent. जितनी देर में ऊपर जाएगा उतने टाइम में नीचे आएगा. ठीक है, time is equal, same. We have t, we have a, we have velocity. So let's take t double dash as time. So we can find the velocity with which it strikes the ground again. Okay, so from here it will strike the ground again. Time कैसे निकाला हमने? जितनी देर में ये ऊपर गया उतनी ही देर में ये नीचे आएगा. If this ball is taking 3.86 seconds to reach the new maximum height, then the same time will be taken by the ball to strike the ground again. 3.86 seconds only. Okay, so v double dash कैसे find करोगे आप? u double dash plus gt. Put the values. 0 plus 9.8 into 3.86. What is the velocity? Please come again. 37.8. You're getting the same answer. And total time is? देखो टोटल टाइम में क्या आएगा? पहले ऊपर 90 सेंटीमीटर से ऊपर से नीचे जब आया तो इट टुक 4.29 सेकेंड टू स्ट्राइक द ग्राउंड. फिर उसके बाद 3.8 सेकेंड टू रीच एट दिस हाइट, 3.8 सेकेंड अगेन टू स्ट्राइक द ग्राउंड. तो टोटल टाइम इज 4.29 second plus 3.86 second plus 3.86 second. बताओ, it's 12.01 second. So in 12.01 second, it strikes the ground again and reaches you. ठीक है? 4.29 seconds में it strikes the ground for the first time and then it rebounds, reaches the height and then again falls freely and strikes the ground again in 12.01 seconds. We have to plot speed time graph of its motion between 0 to 12 seconds. इसके आगे हमें कुछ calculation करने की requirement नहीं है. Okay, now we will plot the graph. Good question. 3 marks. इसमें है ही क्या? इसमें every time when it rebounds, it loses 1/10 of its speed. Accordingly, you have to consider initial and final velocities. A is G, we know. Time of ascent and time of descent का concept लगाया हमने, वो भी हमें पता है. What else? अगर ये from 0 to, this is the graph that you have to plot. जो आपकी values आई हैं उससे आपने ये graph plot करना. ये answer है. ठीक है? A man drops a ball from the roof of a tower of height 400 meter. So this is 400 meter. At the same time, another ball is thrown up with a velocity of 50 meter per second. Velocity of this ball, initial velocity of this ball is 50 meter per second, and initial velocity of this ball is 0. At what height from the foot of the tower will they meet? From the foot of the tower. Let the height be h. We can consider this height as h1 and this as h2. Okay. Let this point be P. Let both the balls meet at point P. करो. First step क्या? We have to find h1 and h2. How will you find? Distance traveled by the ball, which is placed at A. Find this distance traveled by the ball placed at A is h1. It is equal to ut plus half gt square, and u is 0. So we can write half g t square. Yes. And distance traveled by ball B2, sorry, ball which is at B. Distance traveled by the ball at B is h2, and here we'll consider initial velocity, and it is going against gravity, so it's ut minus half gt square. Okay. Total distance, see, h1 plus h2 is 400 meter, so we can write h1 plus h2 is equal to 400 meter. h1 is half gt square and h2 is ut minus half gt square. So it is equal to 400. half gt square cancel हो जाएगा. ठीक है? ut is equal to 400. यहाँ से you can get the value of t. है ना? This implies T is equal to 400 by U. And U is 50 meter per second. U is 50 meter per second. So it's 400 by 50, 8 seconds. So they will meet after 8 seconds. Question क्या था? At what height will they meet? We have to find height. Height कैसे find करोगे? We can find h1. It's half gt square. Therefore, h1 is equal to half gt square. G is 9.8 and t square is 8 square. Solve this. What value you are getting? 313 meter. And h2? 400 minus 313 meter. So it's 87 meter. So height from the foot of the tower is 87 meter. Train A, train B. Length of the trains 400 meter each. Yes, both the trains are equal in length. They are moving on two parallel tracks with a uniform speed of 72 kilometers per hour in the same direction. Initial speed is 72 kilometers per hour. With A ahead of B, the driver of B decides to overtake A, okay, and accelerates by 1 meter per second square. So this is the acceleration produced by driver of A. If after 50 seconds and after 50 seconds, the guard of B just brushes past the driver of A. So what was the original distance between them? Right, this length of both the trains is equal to 400 meter. Speed of both the trains is 72 kilometer per hour, right? So we can convert this into meter per second. But it's 20. Okay, 20 meter per second. Fine. So this is the initial speed. See, train A is moving with constant speed while train B is accelerating. Okay, because train A is moving with constant speed, so there is no acceleration. So we can find distance covered by both the trains in 50 seconds. Okay, so let's find distance covered by train B first in 50 seconds. Distance covered by, have you done, Mudit? Train B in 50 seconds. So SB, let's write SB for the distance. Okay, it's initial velocity ut plus half at square. Okay, now put the values. Initial velocity is 20, time is 50 plus half, acceleration is 1, time is 50 square. What value you're getting? Yes, it's 2250. 2250 meter. Similarly, we can find the distance covered by train A. Distance covered by train A. Train A in 50 seconds. Train A is moving with uniform speed.
Also,
U is 20, na? It's 20 into 50. We will not write A down because A acceleration, it is not accelerating. So it's 1000 meter. Now we have to find the distance between. Subtract कर दो. Therefore, it's 1250 meter. Particle is given by it's y is equal to a plus bt plus ct square minus dt4. Find the initial velocity and acceleration. Initial velocity and initial acceleration. Initial velocity means at t is equal to 0, we have to find out the velocity and acceleration. So how do we find velocity? By differentiating displacement. Yes, with respect to time. So it's dy by dt. अब displacement तो हमें पता ही नहीं differentiate कैसे करना होता है इसको, है ना? So we have this formula d by dx of xn is nxn minus 1. We'll be using this. Okay. So d by dt in the bracket we have a plus bt plus ct square minus dt raised to the power 4. ठीक है? See, a is a constant, है ना? So d by dt of a plus b is a constant. So we'll write outside in the bracket we have dt by dt. C is a constant, बाहर कर लेंगे इसको d by dt of t square. D is another constant, write d outside. In the bracket we have differentiation में we have ये आ जाएगा, ठीक है? Constant का 0 होता है. Here we have just b. Here we have 2t. On differentiating t square we get 2t. So it's 2ct and this is minus 4dt cube. Now we have to find initial velocity. Initial velocity means velocity at t is equal to 0. So velocity at t is equal to 0 is these expressions will vanish now and we are left with this b only. Okay. Wait बेटा, ठीक है? अच्छा, अब next we have to find acceleration. How will you find acceleration now? Acceleration is dv by dt. And now put the value of v here. It's d by dt of, we have this b plus 2ct minus 4dt cube. Yes. Now differentiate this. See, this d is different from this d. This d is of differentiation and this d is a constant. Okay. तो उसमें confusion नहीं होना चाहिए कोई. अब क्या लिखेंगे? b plus 2c minus 3t square हो जाएगा ये, है ना? So we'll get 12 हो गया, sorry. It's 12 dt square. Yes. No, we have done something. V is a constant. Yes. V is a constant. So acceleration at t is equal to 0 is equal to 2c. Enclose your answer in a box. Consider an object moving with velocity v, covering a distance x in time t. Okay. Moving with velocity v. We have an object, it is moving with velocity v and is covering distance x in time t. Clear? The relation between time and distance x is, this is the relation, it is given to us. T is equal to alpha x square plus beta x. Alpha and beta are constants. Find the retardation. Retardation is negative acceleration. Yes, we have to find acceleration. But t given. अब हम क्या करेंगे? Usually we differentiate with respect to time, but here we'll differentiate with respect to x. To differentiate differentiating t with respect to x, we get, okay, so dt by dx, d by dx, in bracket we have alpha x square plus beta x. So what will we get? It's 2 alpha x plus beta. See, this is dt by dx. It is not dx by dt. How do we write velocity? If position is x, velocity is v, time is t, so we can write velocity as velocity as dx by dt. But dt by dx we have found out, right? Not dx by dt. So we'll take the reciprocal of it. It's 1 upon 2 alpha x plus beta. Now we have to find acceleration. And how do we find acceleration? Differentiating v. Okay, with respect to x, we get. अब तो easy हो गया. Differentiating v with respect to s. We are not differentiating v with respect to t. We are differentiating v with respect to x. We can see that it is a function of x. Okay, so we can write dv by dx is equal to. Now we will apply the same relation here. It's 1 by x, and it's minus 1 by x square. Yes, x की power -1 है ना ये -1 x -1 -1. ठीक है, x की power n लगाओगे, it's nx n -1. So we have applied this relation here. ठीक है, so what will we get? Minus देखो d by dx, v को हम लिखेंगे 2 alpha x plus beta raised to the power -1. अब थोड़ा क्लियर हो रहा है? ठीक है, now apply this formula. Now you can apply easily. N is -1, so -1 x -1 -1. Okay, so what will you get? -1, then this expression 2 alpha x plus beta, -1 -1 is -2. ये chain rule है because this is not x. In place of x we have 2 alpha x plus beta. So again we will differentiate this, differentiate this 2 alpha x plus beta. This is how we multiply. Okay, now what will you get? It's -1 upon, इसको नीचे ले जाते हैं, पावर पॉजिटिव हो जाएगी, 2 alpha x plus beta square into 2 alpha. This is -2 alpha upon 2 alpha x plus beta square. I hope this is clear. But we have to find acceleration. And how do we write acceleration? Acceleration is dv by dt. It is not dv by dx. It is dv by dt. So we can write this as dv by dx into dx by dt. Can we write like this? What is dv by dx? -2 alpha upon 2 alpha x plus beta square, and dx by dt is 1 upon 2 alpha x plus beta. Where is the? ठीक है, so we'll get -2 alpha upon 2 alpha x plus beta cube. Clear? Now this 1 upon 2 alpha x plus beta is b. So in place of 1 upon 2 alpha x plus beta, we can write b. But here we have cube. So we'll write -2 alpha b cube. So acceleration is minus 2 alpha v cube. So retardation is minus negative of acceleration. Retardation is 2 alpha v cube, positive. A body starts from rest. What is the ratio of the distance traveled by the body during fourth and third second? We have to find the ratio. Okay, distance traveled in nth second is? Beta gate band karna. Distance traveled by the object in nth second. Any idea? Yes, what is the formula? Distance traveled by the object in nth second is u plus a by 2, 2n minus 1. Okay. This is the distance traveled by the object in nth second. So a body starts from rest. Starts from rest means initial velocity of the object is 0. What is the ratio of the distance traveled by the body during fourth and third second? Let's find S4 first. During fourth second, n is 4. Put n is equal to 4. What will you get? It's u plus u is 0. N is 4. 4 by 2. 2 into 4 minus 1. Yes? In place of n, we will write 4. For u, we are writing 0. And see, a as it is now. This is a now. U plus a by 2, 2n. N is 4 minus 1. Okay. So what will you get? 4 to the 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. It's 7a by 2. Similarly, we can find distance traveled by the object in third second. So we'll put n is equal to 3. 0 plus a by 2. 2 into 3 minus 1. So this is 6 minus 1, 5. 5a by 2. Now find the ratio. What is the ratio of the distance traveled by the body in fourth second and third second? So fourth second is 7a by 2. Where's your notebook, Karan? Third second is 5a by 2. You've done? The ratio is 7:5.
Ma'am, can you explain this question again?
See, in this question we have a body starts from rest. Starts from rest means u is 0. Okay. With an acceleration a1. So we have two different objects here, a and b, and they have different accelerations. Okay. So a has started from rest with an acceleration a1. So this is the acceleration of object a. It's a1 because it starts from rest. So we are putting this u as 0 because u is the initial velocity. Okay. Second, after 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, another body b starts from rest. 2 सेकंड के बाद एक और ऑब्जेक्ट है जो रेस्ट से स्टार्ट हुआ, तो उसका भी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी इज 0 but with an acceleration a2. So acceleration is a2 for this object. But this object b has started its journey after 2 seconds. Okay, it is given to us that if they travel equal distance in the 5th second after the start of it. See, we know the distance formula. This is the distance traveled by the object in nth second. Nth second means first second, second second, third second, fourth second. This is how we find. Okay. So nth second means last second. Nth second कुछ भी हो सकता है. N can be 1, 2, 3. कि उस particular second में कितना distance cover किया. So fifth second मतलब 1, first second, second second, third second, fourth second, and this is fifth second. So distance traveled by the both the objects in fifth second, ये जो आपका है ये equal है. So a distance covered by object a in fifth second is this much. ठीक है. Distance covered by object b in fifth second will be the same. है ना. a का भी यही होगा और b का भी यही होगा. But the problem is that a has started at time t equals to 0. a ने यहाँ start किया है and b has started its journey after 2 seconds. b has started its journey at this time. ये time of start जो start जब b ने किया तो after 2 seconds start किया. ये जो फॉर्मूला है, this is the formula for distance traveled by the object in nth second. It's u plus a by 2, 2n minus 1. n is the nth second जिसमें हम distance find कर रहे हैं. u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration. Now for object a, this is fifth second. For object A, this is fifth second. So n is equal to 5, a is equal to a1 is given, u is 0. Put all the values, you'll get 9a1 by 2. And for object B, this is third second. Object B के लिए ये third second है ना? Because इसका first second तब start होता है जब 2 seconds already object A के complete हो जाते हैं. So for object B, this is first second, this is second second, and this is third second. Okay, so we'll write n is equal to 3 for B. So u इसका भी 0 है. Acceleration is a2 by 2, 2 into 3 minus 1, so we'll get 5a2 by 2. It is given that ये आपका distance traveled in 5th second, ये जो है आपका same है, equal है for both the objects. So this is 9a1 by 2 for object A, and it is 5a2 by 2 for object B. We'll simply equate them and get the ratio. ये आपका ट्रांसपोज हो जाएगा, 2 कैंसिल हो जाएगा, a1 a2 के ये a2 यहाँ आ जाएगा और 9 आपका इधर चला जाएगा, तो a1 by a2 is 5 by 9. The position of a particle moving along x-axis is given as x is 5 t square minus 4t plus 20. ठीक है? x is in meter and t is in second. This is given. So velocity जो भी आएगी वो मीटर पर सेकंड में आने वाली है. Find average velocity between 1 second and 3 seconds. How do we find average velocity? Average velocity is delta x by delta t. This is first part. Average velocity is delta x by delta t. Okay. So we have to find distance covered in total distance और ये 1 second और 3 second के बीच में ना कितना cover हुआ and time. So we write this as x2 minus x1. अभी मैं x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t. ठीक है? So x2 is the position at t is equal to 3, and x1 is the position at t is equal to 1. Now put t is equal to 3 and get the value of x2 first. 5 into 3 square minus 4 into 3 plus 20. What will you get? 9. 9 5s are 45 minus 12 plus 20. 65, हाँ, minus 12 कितना आ रहा है? इतनी अभी क्लास में बाद में ले लेंगे नहीं. हाँ जी थैंक यू. 53 meter. Similarly, we can find a t is equal to 1. 5 into 1 square minus 4 into 1 plus 20. So we'll get 5 minus 4 plus 20. It's 21. यही आ रहा है? चेक कर लो एक बार. कॉपी नहीं करना, वेरीफाई करना. ठीक है? So what will we get? 53 minus 21 divided by 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3 upon 2. It is 16 meter per second. This is the average velocity between 1 second and 3 seconds. अन्वी ये तो आ गया ना?
हाँ.
किसमें करना हमने? आपको position given है. At t is equal to 3, at t is equal to 1, you will find the position. Subtract कर दो. ऐसे ही t2 minus t1. ठीक है? ये ऐसे कर सकते हैं ना, ऐसे फर्स्ट सेकंड, सेकंड सेकंड, थर्ड सेकंड. x3 में से अगर हम x1 को माइनस कर देंगे तो विल गेट दिस डिस्प्लेसमेंट, डिस्टेंस कवर्ड इन दीस 1 2 3. यस. सिमिलरली सी इसमें कोई डाउट है तो यू कैन आस्क मी राइट. हाँ जी, आपको पीछे इधर find velocity as a function of time. Find velocity as a function of time. So we have to write velocity in terms of time. है ना? So because velocity is dx by dt. So we'll simply differentiate it d by dt of 5 t square माइनस, बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं हो रही आज, है ना? डी बाई डी टी ऑफ 5t² माइनस 4t प्लस 20 करेंगे, ठीक है? तो डिफरेंशिएट दिस, टी स्क्वायर को ऑन डिफरेंशिएशन विल गेट 2t, इट्स 10t minus 4. So velocity in terms of time is 10t minus 4. Okay, we have to find its value at t is equal to 3 seconds. So at t is equal to 3 seconds, velocity is 10 into 3 minus 4. It's 30 minus 4, 26 meter per second. Next, we have to find acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds. How do we find acceleration? Velocity को differentiate कर देते हैं, है ना? Acceleration is equal to dv by dt. D by dt of v is 10t minus 4. It's 10 meter per second square. When is the particle at rest? बताओ. Yes. 10t minus 4 equals to 0. Correct. पार्टिकल रेस्ट पे कब होगा? जब उसकी वेलोसिटी 0 होगी, है ना? तो एट पार्टिकल रेस्ट पे कब होगा? When v is 0. So put v equals to 0. So this implies 10t minus 4 is equal to 0. This implies t is equal to 4 by 10. 0.4 second. So at t is equal to 0.4 second, particle was at rest.